Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us. This is TJF Talks. I'm Chris.
I'm Cheetah. Thanks for tuning in on the podcast today and every day. We invite notables to talk jazz, but also the life, the vibes, and the music. A little bit of anything that pops up as well, and something that we like to call improvisations.
Today, we're joined by David Slutes, a pillar of Tucson's music scene. As a musician with the Sidewinders, longtime entertainment director at Hotel Congress, and now founder of the new Midtown venue, La Rosa, David has shaped how our city experiences with live music. He's a performer, promoter, community organizer, and true advocate for Tucson's creative spirit.
That's a mouthful there.
Yeah, it was.
Our chat with David reveals a few tidbits that you do not want to miss. He talks about what making it means, which is different for everyone, but you'll see. And he also has quite a tearjerker. You don't want to miss that either. And how a monastery spoke to him. All of that is coming up right now when we go to the show. Hello and welcome. Thanks so much for coming in.
Great to be here.
You say that pensively, but like, you will know that it's great to be here. So
we start off just a little back and forth. It's sort of like improv on stage, which is obviously a jazz thing, but it's sort of an entertainment thing as well. So we're going to improv with you.
Great.
All right. So first question is you lived on both sides of music, on stage with the Sidewinders or San Rubies, and behind the scenes, booking and curating for decades. Which role has shaped you most, and do you ever miss being more on the stage?
Well, it's clearly, even if you ask me today,
Yeah.
and I've been running venues now for a quarter century,
Yeah.
You asked me what I am, and I said, I'm a musician.
Oh, 100%.
That's that's my thing, and I'll probably go to my grave thinking I'm a musician. So that shapes everything, and obviously it's informed the other side of that fully, But I think it's a good thing. I mean, I think I like to hire musicians. I like to hire people who are in that same realm because they understand both sides and they can treat the artists with the amount of respect.
Do you think that was one of the key benefits as a musician running venues?
Absolutely.
That it gave you the same talking?
In fact, I've been to so many venues and see how when you have a bar manager or somebody who owns a place that's not a musician run it, and how even in predecessors that I've worked with who weren't that way, they just don't know the other side. They don't have that intuition about what an artist really cares about and what would make that event terrific. Having been on stage, going through that stuff you can't replace that experience.
Yeah. So not only do you know what a musician cares about and what they want to see in a venue, but in the booking process itself, how do you know when you oh yeah, they're a real musician? They have their thing. What I mean, there's intuition for sure, but how do you know? What is that magic thing that goes off inside your head?
You know when you hear it when you hear it and feel it, and you talk to when you get a chance to talk to the artists. One thing I absolutely loved about my previous role at Hotel Congress is that we dealt with a lot of up-and-coming local artists, which means the deals could be made with the artists, not the agents. You could see and feel and touch what their experience was happening. And you go, and you want to nurture those. Some of them you want to redirect to a different career, but many you just go, that's the one. And you put a lot of effort and resources behind them because you think you're doing right by them and the community and the cultural community at large. I think I love this job for that reason, because you can do something, you have some effect on that.
Well, to that point, you've called our Tucson community scrappy but vibrant. And so what makes our city's music identity unique?
Mostly I think it's small enough that, we have incredible talent, but it's small enough that there's no genre, there's no cliques, or I should say a lot less than you go to big cities. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone can play country, jazz, rock. Everyone goes to those shows. Everyone appreciates everyone. Everyone's supportive of everyone. I mean, everyone's a blanket statement. Of course, it's not true, but more so than any other community I've ever been in and seen. It's just, there's no box you get to be put into. You can join anything and be a part of it. And I love that about our community. And I've seen that I've seen generations of musicians come through this town. That has never changed.
Oh, yeah. You see it time and time again. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the biggest impact that Tucson made on me when I moved here 30 years ago now, but was exactly what you're saying. Once I started working with the musicians, they're always saying, how can I help? How can I help? Like, how can I promote? What can I do?
Well, I can still remember, I was a sort of punk rock new wave kid,
right?
But I was going to country shows. I'd go see my Dave Brubeck when he was in town. And it was, I never thought any different of it. But you go to Phoenix and boy, you had your little lanes you had to be in. You had to look a certain way, you had to act a certain way, and they were the bad guys.
That's kind of interesting, and there's something unique about our environment and culture here that that's created that. And I would say in large part to the work that you did in your previous job with Hotel Congress over 20 plus years of doing that. Like, what's it like, the hustle to keep a live venue operating?
Well,
and have that unique identity.
You just it sounds obvious, but it's pure passion for it.
Yeah.
You have to live in it. You can't take a 9-to-5 job. This is my world. I mean, I'm a Tucson musician and I love it.
Right.
And I like getting into it. And to speak to what we were just talking about, you see a great artist and you want to spend a lot of time working on that. You say, this is somebody needs to be seen by the rest of the world. And you spend your time on it because it's important to you.
Yeah. It's
important to me, and it still is. And that kind of thing is just fabulous. Tucson's funny because for all that, the other charm of it is this sort of mañana feeling. Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of musicians they come here because it's cheaper to live here. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of great Mexican food, a lot of reasons you come here, but you'll also relax a little too. There's not that eye on the prize energy. That's a good thing, but it also doesn't give you it doesn't give you that leg up when you're competing with everyone to get the record deal or get out in the world. So I've always felt it was my job to be that extra. Come on, let's go. Because the really good ones may not know. I think of Reiner. You remember Reiner, mm-hmm. one of our greatest ever.
Yeah.
He could have done everything, but he was a Tucson guy. And music, it got to people. It got to Robert Plant. He got out there to people, but not because he had any larger ambitions. It just was such great music. Had he had a little bit more ambition, he would have been a star. But it's okay. But that's okay. Yeah. He did what he did and was
working within the space that he wanted to be.
Working within the space he wanted to.
Yeah. That's something really important to note about musicians in general. Chris actually brought that up to me one day. What people say is famous or big is really subjective to that artist.
100%. That's a great call.
Yeah.
We're not. I always am a little suspicious of musicians that says I want to make it.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Right.
What is that? I mean, tell me why.
Yeah.
I want to see people put music first, and that's what I'll always put ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, those who just do that, that's where you think you might be able to assist and say, get above it, the helicopter view of their career and where the direction.
Right.
Maybe let's get you a larger show. Let's get you on that support show for this. Let's get some eyes on you here, So I think that's important.
Yeah. And there's that perceived ideal of what making it is. And the thing I told Cheetah about was, in one day this happened many years ago, early in my career. On the same day, I played in front of 100,000 people on a huge stage at a fair. And that was in the afternoon. And then that evening, I played a show in an intimate venue in front of 150 people. I can tell by your look, you want to know which one I enjoyed more.
I already know.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's the intimacy is everything.
Right.
The music's you can see it affecting the people in it.
Yeah. There's something tactile about that. So when we say like making it, like, wow, maybe making it for, I truly believe this, for many musicians, we all have to put food on the table mm-hmm. at the end of the day. But for many musicians, it's that connection that you make.
100%.
Right? That's what
I will tell you, and no one else will tell you this, I'm a success in the music industry. I think my career, no one knows my band. I mean, but we had record deals, we had advances. I didn't work for 10 years. We can still do shows 40 years on.
Yes.
And people come to those shows. I can sign autographs. I am the happiest. I got all the taste of fame without any of the ugliness, and I'm in the world. I win, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. And live to tell about it.
And live to tell about it, right? Right. And I actually I took my first record advance and bought a house, and that house off and running. Unlike some band members of mine who decided to spend.
Hey, things happen, but it's that absolute success.
But that's it. And to that, but classic Tucson stuff. But it's these guys. We have a great scene here. We have a wonderful scene here. Sometimes they just need a little push.
Yeah. So speaking of the scene and the ecosystem, the music ecosystem that's here, you are opening a new venue here soon, La Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your vision of the space and how it works within the whole music ecosystem in Tucson?
Well, I mean, for years at Congress, I'd always felt that the city was missing a boutique mid-size venue. Mm-hmm. We've had terrific venues in the Fox and Rialto. I mean, the most beautiful, the most energized, and Congress was my baby. We had the club, and I do big events. Finally, I said, let's make a bigger venue outdoors to sort of reach that number. The trouble with that, it's now become a great community space, and I adore it. But weather and neighbors and downtown and sound and things, you couldn't book a ton there because there was too many outside factors. And I said, we're still missing that one spot. Mm-hmm. So I've been sort of, as my final act, looking around, and I partnered with just the best promoter in the state, a guy named Charlie Levy, mm-hmm. who's opened up the Van Buren and Crescent and a Valley Bar. And I mean, he's incredibly smart, and his heart's in exactly the right place. I've known him for years. He used to book my band, and we've just been great peers. And we started saying, maybe we should do something to get there. We looked around and wandered into the Benedictine church one day, and we go, oh my God, this is it. This was it. There's nothing like the space. It's absolutely special space, and it is the right capacity. There's some challenges. We had to check on sound and lighting and all that. I mean, and parking and all the things that you have to, the stuff. Once we think we solved all that, we said, this is it. We're going to go for it. And it's a big undertaking, obviously, but I think it's going to fit perfectly into the venue ecosystem here in town.
It seats 300 to 500, is that correct?
We're seating currently. We haven't put all the seats out yet.
Yeah,
but we're selling 450. 450. We'll just as we, the first few shows will dictate. We're being a little conservative on a few things. We're doing a standing room cap of 750, which is that number. We don't know exactly where that's going to end for comfort. We just want it to be great for the artist and the guests. So whatever that number ends up being, mm-hmm. but we think we've been conservative, and we're selling that right now. So, and it's a perfect size. I think it's exactly the kind of thing, and we can get the kind of artists that we want to get in there,
We talked about this size venue for the last few years and doing the jazz festival.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So we were like, oh.
There's really, you're right. There's nothing in town that's in that 300 to 500 range.
I mean, it's just something.
Right.
We have 1 million people in town. Yeah. Our art scene is still growing,
even
in this economy, even with all the problems we foresee. I still think we have. I mean, we're bullish on our chances, and I think we can make all the, high tide raise all the venue boats. I feel that.
Right.
Well, we worked with you and all of the above, the forementioned. Yeah. We're getting ready to work. What kind of thoughts were you like, oh, what can I do with TJF coming up?
I mean, Chris was one of my first calls.
Yeah, that's true, right?
I mean, said, Chris, what can we do?
Yes.
Let's go. I mean, and especially that seating number is really great. And it's not just a hall. It's a really beautiful place. Mm-hmm. And the artist accommodations we've worked extraordinarily hard on. So an artist is going to get there and they're going to, that's where I want to play at that size.
Yeah, I think you're speaking to something that hits for the artists and for audiences as well. And it's what I try to do with art booking as well, is to have experiences, mm-hmm. right? Something that's a unique, right? We have great venues and great experiences throughout the year, but there's something special about the jazz festival and having unique experiences and the quantity of stuff that's all happening at once, and then coming to a unique space like La Rosa. And I've had the opportunity to tour it from basically nothing. It's still having all of its monastery type implements in there to what it's becoming, and still respecting what it's looked like in the past and what it's going to be as a venue.
I think it's important for us to keep everything that we could. I mean, it will feel like a church when you go in there. We've had to make some acoustical changes. Obviously, it's built for a cappella and singing. We're going to have louder things in there, so we've had to adjust that. Working very hard, spending a lot of money to do it. But think about a touring artist, for example. Think about a special event like yours. If you're going around the country doing these things, and you just you go, and then you get to some place. Your experience as an artist, and particularly artists, care about these things. And this has been, I know this. We've talked to a billion of them and say, oh, this is different and special. Congress, for all of its faults, was a special, weird space too, because you could go upstairs to the hotel and this is so European. They like to come back. And Congress wasn't perfect, but it was cool, and it doesn't have to be perfect if it gives the artist something, And that's a special thing, and that's what we're working very hard on right now.
You don't want to be every man's ballroom.
No, I mean, God, there's so many. There's a good story about when Charlie was building Van Buren, and it's this crazy old place, and our same designer is working on that one, and it became a Live Nation venue afterwards. And the Live Nation people came down and said they were very worried about. The general manager is very weird. Oh, they're coming down. It's an old weird place. And they came in and go, God, don't change a thing. Why can't we do this? Because they're so used to cookie cutter designer things, building these venues that are perfect, but it's no soul to the place. And that's
a key word.
It's the
soul.
key. It has to, you go in there.
When you
feel
give your
differently.
Soul to something because you're passionate about it, and we all
and you can
like
do that with any blank slate. But then then you put it in a place like this, you walk in, the experience for the artist, and of course the guest is magical. I've been working in that place for about a year. Just, I'd forgotten about all this stuff because I'm dealing with things. And we had to test some lights. It was dusk, getting dark. And I walk in, we see the light, and I looked around as this for the first time. I go, oh, this is going to be special. It was really cool. It just hit me again after.
Did you get the goosebump
I got the goosebumps.
Uh-oh.
You pay for your ticket and you walk into this space.
It's such a great feeling when you do that, you're saying.
I'm excited not only as a presenter to present in that space, but as an audience member, as a future audience member myself, to be able to come in and experience live shows there. So speaking of music and whatnot, and you said you're going to go to your deathbed saying you are a musician and you are a musician first. You played more necessarily, if we had to put labels, more in the rock genre.
Definitely.
What are the carryovers from what you know and you've done in rock, and you obviously understand music as a whole, to what we do in the jazz world?
Well, I mean, only the experience of getting on stage, but understand, I was raised, like I said, with the West Coast jazz going on, and then as an adult found all the East Coast guys. I'm a big jazz head. When we put together the Century Room at Congress, which I think was the greatest thing we ever did, I lugged in about 100 records of my own. Arthur and I battled over record space.
Sure, yeah.
I love it.
Got to have that Cal Jader record. You got to play that right now.
I love it.
I mean, it's just personal passion. I know jazz very well. I love it. And as a musician, that experience isn't much different, except they know more chords.
What do you think the first piece of music, or the first live event, or the first instrument you touched or saw someone performing was, that was the spark behind you saying, I'm gonna be a musician?
That's good. I don't know the exact show, but it's going to a local punk rock show downtown when I was 16 years old.
What was the place?
Oh, it's called Pearl's Hurricane. And I think we're literally either on top of it where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
It was this weird little bar that this old lady just let the punk rockers take over on weekends.
Awesome.
And you go in and you see the energy and excitement and go, I'd played drums as a kid, and I can remember playing Freebird with my brother's band, and they recorded it, and it was half as slow by the end because I sucked so bad. But so I never thought I was much of a musician. Yeah. But I go there and go, I see these guys aren't great musicians, but their energy is great.
Oh,
I go, I want to go to there. That's it. And then I started learning how to play, and then that was that energy. That it was a punk rock thing more than anything. But again, I'm a music guy. I'm very Catholic in my taste. It's I love everything, so it's well suited to my job too, because any kind of music is going to be embraced.
Right. It's like the Quincy Jones approach. Like, why put labels on anything?
Right.
Like,
If it's good, if that person is an artist and they mean it and it's good, I don't care about the genre. It's going to be impactful to people.
Yes.
So if you did the dream booking at La Rosa, like a double bill that has like cross genre, that leans rock and then something else that leans jazz, and like who would you put on that bill?
Well, I just booked my favorite act as a kid.
Oh yeah.
When I was 16, I made a greatest hits that was 72 songs long of Todd Rundgren.
Oh my.
And I just booked him, so I'm very happy about that. So I can't get that. Or, then you have the Medeski, Martin, and Woods who come in and do that. And how could I even answer that question? There's no way.
I told you before we started, there's no gotcha questions.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's a gotcha question.
That's impossible, because we could go down any rabbit hole.
Could.
And we could have this interview go on for about 8 hours.
I agree.
I have a gotcha question.
About just music stuff. I mean, who would you book? I need some guardrails there.
Right, like right, are dead or alive? Could I bring back?
Why not 5'8", 42 years old? Let's go there, and then we can kind of
narrow it down.
See if this is a gotcha. Are you ready?
Okay.
Tell me about the conversation between these two guys.
She's showing a picture, and that's
so funny.
It's David Slutes. And who do you see there? Yourself and
I still think I'm that guy. So I'm only going to listen to the audio portion of this.
Okay, good.
But,
I feel you on that one. I feel the same.
But it's
what year is that picture of you?
93?
93?
Yeah, 91, 93, because that was the Sandra. Those photos were taken by Paul McCartney's photographer.
Oh.
And remember that, because
Linda?
we were big stars at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, and he came out and they took all these pictures. Here's a good story about that picture. And you can't tell, but that they had to retake to get that one, because the last one I'd gone back to my natural dark hair. I was a blondie for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
That's
and
everybody
our record
did that.
company in England, the guy got the photos back, took a red eye out here, and said, "Let's go! Try to kill our record. You go blonde now." And I go, "Okay." So I went back to blonde. I had to take those photos again. I don't know. I just remember. That's the story I can always think about.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to be myself now. No, I'm not. I'll be whoever you want me to be, record company guy.
That's what you did in that moment.
In that moment.
Yeah, especially in that point in time with record biz.
This AB of David Slutes right here.
But he's happy guy. Both of them.
Well, both of them.
Absolutely.
You're very.
Look at my life.
You're good looking
But
dude.
did this guy know at all what this guy was going to learn?
No. At that point, that was on my 5th year of major label records, and I still remember thinking, "Oh, that's just my life now."
Oh, yeah.
I'm just. I mean, that's how I'm going to wake up. I'm going to send in a record. They're going to go touring. I thought that's what I would do the rest of my life. I really just, because that's what it'd become. I was part of that thing, and then was okay when it sort of drifted off into not doing that, and then finding this. The recognition of, I love this, and what can I do to be part of this, and this is, and knowing that how much Tucson nurtured me, and how much I might be able to give back to that. I'm not kidding. These are thoughts.
Wow.
And I thought, it's nice to have that mission and recognize this, because otherwise you can get down rabbit holes and look at P&Ls and start going, "Well, I need to get a better band there." No, but guess what? Booking great and encouraging is great business. And if you just have to work maybe a little harder on some things. So,
yeah, I love your outlook on things and how you approach what you're doing now with La Rosa and what you've done in the past, and how everything speaks to each other, and how you just want to contribute to our local music ecosystem. That's how I'm going to call it.
And both Charlie and I, where this is his probably last big venue. This is I call it my great third act, and it's gotta, it has to represent what I believe in. We have to be profitable. We have to make money, but we do have a nonprofit foundation who's going to be promoting it, doing all the production. Business will have to try to survive. But I'm going to go with my belief that doing great things is going to do good business. So.
Wow. So there's one question that we always like to end with. And again, this is a rabbit hole question, I know, for you and for me as well. But, and we can go down that rabbit hole for a minute or two here. Why does live music matter?
How can I put it succinctly?
You don't have to.
Yeah.
It's hard.
The human music, for one thing. Think about music. Why is it so amazing? Because you can't put your finger on it. That punk rock show I went to means as much to me as Beethoven's Ninth. I get the same, and there's no way to define that. And then when you get to be in front of the people making that music, there's nothing more special to me than being able to the act of creation, the demonstration of that creation, and that relationship you have with the live performer. And being on both sides, I can't tell you, I think I prefer a little bit to be the performer that they have, but just by hair. Yeah. There's nothing more special. And I can't believe everyone feels that way. I know I do. I know there's enough of us in this room who feel that way.
Right.
Yes.
That it's ineffable. You can't define it. And you're just attracted to it. It's like almost a primal thing. And I'm living to the end, believe in that.
Sounds like you're in the right place, though.
I feel blessed that we've been able to work together in the past and that we'll be able to work together in the future. I know Tucson is blessed not only from the live music and what you've brought to this community as a performer, but what you've meant as a presenter in the past, and also in your great third act, how that presenting and that compassion and which drives you. And that's one of the most striking things to me here, and just having this discussion with you is that, and I mentioned it before, that we need, at the end of the day, we need to be profitable for a business to work, and we need to put food on the table in order for a business to work. But if that's the main motivation that drives you, I don't see it working well, right? And I don't hear that that's what's driving you. I hear it's compassion. Yeah. It's about live music and what that matters and what that brings.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm in a room with people who feel the same way. So, I know you the same way, Chris. I feel the same way. I mean, we do this because it's meaningful to us.
Valid.
It's not the bank account.
No.
So.
It's
that's always the case. If you choose the passion over the bank account, then the money will come.
Well, that's my belief, and it's
mine
worked
too.
so far. So far.
Well, we
made it.
Yeah. We look forward to doing more great things with great people, and with La Rosa and Tucson Jazz Festival in the future, and everybody else that we work with in this community. As you say, the rising tide raises all ships.
I hope so.
LaRosaTucson.com. So pick your show. There's varied different styles and artists and nights. And
we're trying to make it home for everyone. Yeah. So that's another part of our.
Well, we're excited for it. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it.